A big thank you to Aqua Air Wet Dry for sponsoring this episode. All right. Remember back when I was doing all of these DIYs out on my pool deck and it was a disaster and it was messy and it was so chaotic? Well, things haven't totally changed, but on this episode, we are gonna be converting my third car bay garage into the girly workshop of my dreams. Let's get started right now with just decluttering. Welcome to my messy workshop. We're gonna change that today. I have a vision. I did not have a workshop in my last home, so having this space is amazing and I'm so excited about it. It's just been a crazy few months since we've moved in. I've been doing some stuff in the house. We've been traveling. We had to renovate a rental property in Arizona and this got pushed down to the bottom of the list. But in order for us to do a lot of the stuff we want to do inside, I need a functioning workshop. This is not functioning, and primarily because I don't really have any storage in here. So everything's kind of been thrown in piles along the walls. It looks awful. It's so embarrassing. We're gonna rectify that today. Here's my design plan. We are gonna put a bank of some black storage cabinets that are just metal, inexpensive, but I think they'll do the trick. And then above that, we may do some storage bins. I'm trying to do all black so it's nice and sleek. I will probably paint that whole entire wall black and the rest of the walls will be painted a bright white. Now, as far as the floor, I don't know whether I want to paint it or just put some floor tiles down or maybe some LVP. I'm not quite sure, but I do think that I will do something either today or eventually. We'll just see how things go along. But the first thing that we need to do is I need to clear this all out, get rid of what I don't need for sure, and try to get this a little bit more organized because we are going to be putting in a new wet dry vac system, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about them in a second. But before we can install the system, we have to have some plumbing work, and before we can have some plumbing work done, they need some space to work. Yeah. Right now, it's just too chaotic for them to work in here, so let's get to work. Okay, we're making some progress, but it is hot. I'm like dripping, but I'm feeling good about this. We're gonna keep on going. I've been at this for hours and I've made a lot of progress, but what I can tell you is I am so looking forward to the wet dry vac system because sweeping it all up was just so much work. But we're gonna keep on keeping on. The guy should be here on Monday and we'll go from there. At least one side is good. We'll take care of a lot of this once we get some more storage on this back wall. So we have to add some plumbing and they've begun, and then it will be over here in my workshop. So now we're going to insulate the garage door so it stays cooler in here. And I just got this at Lowe's, and so we're gonna see if I can figure out how to get it in. I mean, it has some pretty basic instructions that I should be able to follow. So let's do it. Okay. Okay, so I ran out of the white stuff, but I had this on hand, so I went ahead and used it, and it's like the same thing. I'll probably just take some white paint and paint that when I'm painting the walls white, and you'll never know. Well, kind of made a mess. All right, we are going to be trimming out this door. It was never done, and eventually we gotta install the knob. It's gonna have some issues because I don't think it lines up, and so we'll have to maybe troubleshoot that. Once we get the trim up, we'll caulk, and then we're gonna start painting. I cannot wait to brighten up the space. We are gonna be painting white on this wall, black on the back wall, and white on this opposite wall. So we'll start by trimming this up. Okay, don't mind the little patch on my chin. I've got a zit bruin, but anyways, I think that they are finishing up with our system, so let's go see what they've got going on. So this is Johnny and Diana with JR Champion Plumbing, and they have done such a tremendous job here. Are you finished?
Yeah, we done. We checking the vacuum.
Awesome. It looks so good. Look at the work that they did here. Awesome. So if you're in like the Orlando Champions Gate area, give them a call. They did a great job with our plumbing. Okay, we are going to paint, but before we do that, I need to clear out my garage so that it will make it easier to paint, but also I've got some flooring that we're gonna be putting down, so I might as well clear it out right now. And I'll just put it in my formal living room for now. That'll look beautiful.
Sacrifices must be made.
But we'll put it right back in when we're done. Oh my gosh, did you see that lizard take off on that last shot? We're in Florida. It started raining outside, but I do feel like that we've cleared out enough that I can like maybe pile things into the middle of the room and at least start painting. We're gonna cover up these windows with some plastic, and then we're gonna spray the white on each of the walls. And let's do this. Before I cover them up, can we all just take a second and appreciate how beautiful those windows are? I really like those. Okay, so we've got that all taped off, and I will drop this when we're ready to paint that area so I can keep the AC unit running most of the time, and then just shut it off temporarily while I'm spraying that area. We got everything prepped, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray these two walls. We'll end up rolling this back wall in black. This is probably overkill for what I'm using, but I'm gonna throw this on, and it's ginormous. It's large extra L for a guy. It was the only size they had, so we'll see how this goes. Where we're at. I have decided that I am just going to spray all the edges up top and spray all the trim that's left on this side and spray the door. I think it's going to be faster for me to roll the walls. So I'm going to spray like all of the areas that I would have to cut in, because I do think that that would take more time, but I don't feel like it's saving me any time on the big bulky part of the wall, because I just feel like I could roll that faster. So that's what we're gonna do. I couldn't stay in that suit a second longer. It was so hot, and honestly, I don't think it was protecting me that well. no more gas in the tank. We're gonna stop for the night and finish up in the morning. Okay, it's the next morning and I am looking at this paint job and it's... So I think I'm gonna finish the entire thing by rolling it. I just think it's gonna get a better coverage. We're gonna have to go back and touch up some of this stuff that's just not as good. And I'm going to be using that better grip that I had mentioned to make it faster. So let's get on it. Walls make this space feel so much brighter and fresh. I know that like this wall will hopefully be a good wall to film some befores and things like that on. Now you'll notice that we have not painted the back wall yet. We're gonna paint it black. Okay, our walls are painted and they're looking good, but now we need to address the floors. And before we do that, we are gonna now use my new wet dry back system. A big thank you to Aqua Air Wet Dry for sponsoring this portion of the episode. I have been wanting to tell you about this company for, I don't know, about 6 months or so. I had the opportunity to meet the owner back in March. So I'm here with Travis. He's the owner of Aqua Air Wet Dry, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about his amazing company and what makes it so awesome. Tell us.
So the cool thing about our system is you can do all your normal dry vacuuming, just like a normal central vac. But if one of the kids throws up on the carpet, dog pees on the couch, you can just plug right into your ports and you have on-demand hot water and you just clean up the throw up without touching it, and it's all right down the drain. Everything you suck up, wet or dry, is filtered by water that keeps the allergens out of the air and the dust out of the air and all that fun stuff. From there, your mess is pretty much touchless clean. You just use your tools and it's out of there.
Now, I've shared with you on this channel several different vacuum options, wet dry options, ranging anywhere from 200 to like 600-ish. This one is the Cadillac of them all. It is at a higher price point, and this would be perfect for somebody who is building new construction and looking at a centralized system. We hired somebody to come and do some plumbing and electrical for this system. Eventually, I would love to retrofit it into our home as a whole. Right now, it's just gonna be for the workshop, which is really gonna keep dust and dirt down. But what's truly amazing about this system is not only is this centralized system a vacuum with a really powerful suction, you can use it on furniture, floor, and all of that. You can steam clean your carpets, you can steam clean your rugs, you can steam clean your furniture. The suction power is amazing. They just did a test where they did like 3 giant bowls of soup. 2 of them were like chicken noodle soup and the other one was tomato, to see if it would gunk it up or cause any issues, and it handled it like a champ because the system is just that amazing. So before we lay down our LVP flooring, which is what I've selected to lay down in here, we are gonna give this floor a good clean so that it has a nice clean surface to put this new flooring on. Let me show you how it works. Let's get it hooked up. It's so easy. You're gonna have 2 ports. Mine are kind of high up on the wall. This probably won't be how you set it up inside your house, but this is just how we're working it out for my workshop here. We'll push this back, put that in here. It snaps into place, and we'll just put that so it kind of supports the hose. And once this plugs in, it will automatically turn our system on. There it goes. Okay, so you just squeeze the handle and that gives you water, and then that pull back and that gives you suction. So here we go, forward. Oh my word. Okay, I had to turn it off here because this system is so freaking amazing. This is like by far and away the best vacuum, wet or dry, I have ever used. It sucks up so good. It kind of reminds me of a vampire. So I'm going to be forever calling this system Vacula. So we're gonna use Vacula to finish up the floor, get it prepped. If you are interested in getting this amazing system, and I really mean this is like the cream of the crop, this is so amazing, then I will put a link in the description box below. Definitely check it out, especially if you're building a home and you want to put in a centralized system. You will not be disappointed with this. Now let's use Vacula to clean up this mess. All right, here we go.
Vacula, Vacula, sucks the dirt and grime. Vacula, Vacula, cleans it every time.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell on the garage floor how amazing this cleans, because my garage floor has paint on it, it has rust stains, and it's just got years of neglect. In a home setting, this will make your floors sparkle and shine. In a shop setting, it's gonna really cut down the dust and the dirt, and that is awesome for me because that is something that you struggle with. So I'm really excited to have a nice, clean, organized shop. That is my forever goal. Vacula is so amazing. Now it's time to do our flooring, and what I decided to go with here is a LVP flooring. Now this is the cheapest, most affordable one that I could find. It's in little shorter segments. You know, sometimes if you do LVP, they can be in the little longer segments. But I figured for my garage, I wasn't gonna invest a ton of money into the flooring because I know that it is gonna take a beating. And I don't wanna feel guilty about it. I want it to be a nice creative space where I can really let my creativity flow. And like if I wanna get some before shots and all of that, we have a little bit nicer than what's going on right now. And I didn't want to take the time to paint it, so LVP was the correct choice. Now, LVP is a very easy DIY friendly project that we can do. We're going to do it in random lengths, just knowing that you're not going to get it too close. You don't want like two seams that are like maybe staggered like by like an inch or two. That's not right. So you want to have at least, oh, I don't know, like 5 or 6. We're going to do random lengths, but at least 5 to 6 inches apart. And then you don't want them kind of repeating on one row over. So you really just want it to be random and not overly planned. There is going to be a little bit of planning in the way that you don't want to get the seams like weird. So like I have a room in my Harpswell Airbnb with somebody else did like peel and stick floor that looks like this, not the LVP, but it's a peel and stick, and they put seams like 1 inch away like this. Like it does not look very good. So maybe one day we'll do this in there, but let's get going. I'm gonna run the starting one off of this corner piece right here. Then we're gonna go this way, and then we're gonna move in a diagonal pattern this way. So let's get going. Okay, I'm not the resident expert on laying LVP. I've done wood floors, I've done peel and stick, I've done things like that, but this is my first time actually doing LVP. This is a white oak kind of LVP. It looks really good. I'm excited about the lightness of it. I am also using this device to cut mine with. You can cut and score it with a straight edge blade and a box cutter and then snap it. But I already had this from cutting vinyl before, and so that's what we're gonna use. Let's get started. I'm not measuring, I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I just slid it in here, and this is kind of like one of those old style paper cutters almost, and we're gonna just, and that works really, really great. Nice, straight cut. You just click it into place like so. We'll try to line it up nice. Snap into place. If you need a rubber mallet, we can do that too. Maybe for like a protection, we can maybe take like one piece that we'll sacrifice and hit it with that. But it went in really easy. We really didn't even need to do that. Hopefully this will go fast, and we'll just keep going all the way down until we have the whole garage covered. Did you notice that I'm wearing safety glasses? I girls a few days ago. If you had missed that live stream, go check it out. I tell you all about it. They've got Blu-ray, they're tactical gray. These are adorable on top of it. But yeah, go check it out. I'll put a link below the video as well. In the meantime, look how good we're doing. This is my first time doing LVP. Let me show you how it's going. I started along this wall because it already had trim on, and we knew that we were putting some kind of flooring, so we didn't have to rip out the baseboard, so it was already accounting for us putting in a flooring. So we're just staggering these at random, and then we are just continuing it on, and it's looking really, really good. So we'll keep up and get this busted out, hopefully. I am losing light. I don't know if you can tell, but it is getting darker outside. But my floor is done. Unfortunately, all the stuff that I pulled out, I had to bring back in because I can't leave it looking all terrible for our neighbors. But I do have a plan for this. We're going to be building like a wood storage system over here for like my big sheets, and then also all of my trim work. So that is coming hopefully tomorrow. In the meantime, before I wrap up tonight, I need to install this little strip here. Unfortunately, I had to buy like a whole strip just for those few inches there. Isn't that hilarious? But otherwise it would be unfinished. We're gonna stick this down with some power grab. This will kind of finish it off, hold it into place, keep it a little bit more watertight. So we're gonna do that right now. A wrap for tonight. We'll start again in the morning. So let's go take a look at what the garage is looking like today. I was feeling pretty good about it, but we had to put a whole bunch of stuff in it. So here's the deal. I mean, we can't just leave all of this stuff out here for our neighbors to look at forever. And it's rain season, so it's raining a lot on top of it. So we've just been kind of having to work around that. This has been the bane of my existence. Out of the garage, into the garage, out of the garage, back into the garage. I've handled it like way more than I want to. But what we're gonna do right now is we are gonna be building a workbench. I think we can do it out here. I think there's enough floor space that we can build it out here even with all that we have going on. Here's what the plan is. What I want to do is this is going to be kind of my wood storage area. I've got these two beautiful windows. They are so pretty, but any filming that I do will either be faced that way generally or that way. And there is about 8 feet in between these windows, a little bit more. So the idea is I'm going to build like a corral, like a little cubby that I can slide my big 4 by 8 foot sheets of plywood. And then above that, I'm gonna do some racks for all of that loose wood that I just showed you, things that are a little bit shorter and won't go in the corral. Then I was able to get a little workbench that it kind of lifts up so it gets out of the way, because I need as much space in here as possible. We have really good depth, but we don't have a lot of width. So I need to maximize that. I'm gonna try to put that workbench right on the back side of our cubby so it will disguise some of the ugly panels. Well, maybe they're not ugly, but you know what I mean. So that is what we are gonna be building right now. It's tight in here because I have things kind of scattered all about. I promise this is gonna get organized. The first thing I'm gonna do is build that workbench so I can know like the height of where to build things, and it all is kind of gonna be based around that. So let's get building that.
Where did she go? Whoa. Was I supposed to know that she'd leave? Was I too naive to think that she'd be the one? Whoa. Just tell me, why did she go?
So we built our little workbench. Now this should be able to collapse down like so by pushing these in, and then the table should drop down in theory. Let's see if it will work. Okay, so that doesn't take up a lot of weight, but you'll notice that this is not sturdy. So we need to attach this to something. We're not gonna attach it to the cinder block, but what we are gonna do is build the corral for some panels and sheets, bigger pieces of lumber, and then we'll attach this into that so it will be firm. And then above that, I'm gonna do some shelves for pieces of trim and such. Otherwise, this will just tilt right over. So in the meantime, we'll just lift this back up and it should be okay. I'll move this out of the way so we can start building our support and wood storage area. I'm so grateful that my husband could come help me get these on the wall, and we're gonna take it from here. So basically what we're gonna be doing is building like a little cubby to have like sheets of plywood slide into. I'm trying to line up the first shelf with the top of this unit. I thought I had this lined up good, and apparently I didn't, so we'll have to get creative with that. We're gonna start cutting. It is kind of chaotic in here, but I'm gonna get out my bacula hose and connect my saw into that so that while I'm cutting, we can keep the dust to a minimum, and then of course, like once we get done with all of the building, we'll take bacula and clean up really good. So let's do this. This slid right over where the dust collection is, and it fits perfectly. Then we'll just plug it into the port over there and we'll be good to go. Okay, we're gonna put pocket holes in both sides of all these, and that's how we're gonna assemble it all. So I've got this little contraption here. It has the holes where they go. And I've got, of course, my beautiful Athena drill, and we're gonna put those in. So we've built our, I don't know if you can see this, it's like a C, but we're gonna face it towards here, and we're gonna use our pocket screws and screw this into place. And then there should be a little pocket for our sheet panels to slide between. It's not ginormous. I did that intentionally because I want to try to limit what I have in my stash. So we'll get this attached now. Okay, so we got that attached here, and we're gonna attach it on the bottom. Is I have some washers and some screws. We're gonna attach the workbench to our wood storage piece, so when we drop down the table, it's nice and sturdy and not gonna tip over. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about this. I have never had a proper wood storage setup, and this doesn't like give me like an endless amount of room, but that's kind of the point. I feel like I've gotten too out of control with all of my scrap pieces, so this will be like what I'm confined to. It gives me a place for a few sheets of plywood and plenty of trim and other boards. I've never had like a proper workbench. This one's not like super expensive. I could see myself switching out this top eventually. It's kind of cheap, the top, but I think it's gonna be functional for now. This is gonna be perfect for me because I need all of the space that I can get in here because we're very narrow. So with this here, I can start taking care of all of my scrap wood pieces and come up with a more organized solution here. And that's what we're gonna do right now. Actually, before I can put this all up there, I've gotta do a little cleanup. I've got tools and garbage and trash, and we'll clean that up now.
Sunflowers, high grass, and bare feet. Each second is a treat. I keep my balance next to you. It's true. Nowadays there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
Oh my goodness. Look at how much that cleaned this space up. I can't even hardly believe it. I still have some stuff on this side, but we'll take care of that in a second, and then we'll just continue on. Super, super looking good.
I grow wings and tell her goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose.
I am feeling pretty good about this. I've got a stack here of stuff that I'm gonna just get rid of. I've got all this kind of lining the walls. All I want on this wall are these two saws, and everything else needs to go. So I have 3 metal cabinets that we're gonna go build inside. Then we're gonna bring them out here, and they should fit in there pretty snug. Maybe a little bit of leeway on one side, I'm hoping. We'll see how good my measurements were. I hope the 3 shelves fit. I'm pretty sure that they should. And we're gonna put them side by side by side and start putting away some of this excess that is on the side of the room and really opening up the space. I am so, so excited.
It's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye. Oh, it's not what we see, it's what we choose to be. Fire, breath, and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye.
Now we need to start taking care of all of this stuff, but I kind of just want to bring in everything that's been hanging out in my formal living room, get it out here so that I can organize it in the morning because I'm about out of gas. So we're gonna just get what I can out here. Now it's time to clear it out and go organize it in my garage, reclaim this space because the fall season's coming, Christmas season's coming, and this needs to be our next project. So that's coming soon.
It's what we choose to be. Fire, breath, and open sky. It's not what we know, it's where we go. I grow wings and tell her goodbye. It's not what we see, it's what we choose to be.
Woo! Okay, so we do have a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really spread out, but I really do think that we're gonna be able to get it in here, no problem. And here's what I'm thinking. So in this cabinet, I am thinking like all paint supplies. So that's paint, stain, tape, rollers, putty, caulking, anything that is kind of paint related will go in this cabinet. And then in this cabinet, this will be like my power tools. So my Athena drill by Aaliyah will be in here. I will have saws and nail guns, and like all of my power devices will be in here. And then in this cabinet is gonna be like all of like electrical supplies and hardware. I'll use like organizers like this to put like screws and nails and things like that. And then like miscellaneous things. I already put in some like concrete that I've used, and that is on the bottom. And the goal is to have everything cleared out, especially like on this side of the room, except for my 2 saws. And the 2 saws will be literally the only thing on this wall. So let's get doing this. I got all of the hut stuff out of my formal living room, plus the stuff that was over here. And we are looking really, really good. So, I mean, I know it looks like a lot of stuff, but I think we'll be able to make it happen.
Might be all the alcohol and cynicism, the OCD and constant overthinking, like what I should have said, what I should have done. The walls are coming at me and I'm running out of places to run to. Should have said what I should have done. The walls are coming at me and I'm running out of places to run to. Dear Marie, I hope you're better off than me.
We did it! Woo-hoo! All right, so now we're gonna take our storage bins that are empty for right now. They are going to be for my Christmas decor. And I don't want to put them in that yet because Christmas is coming soon. But I want to get the Christmas decor out of my house and in here. And so we're gonna just stack that up here for now. We may do something a little bit more like a hanging thing, but maybe this will work out just fine. I don't know. All right, let's put them up top. That we cut out. I don't know if you can tell from here, but there are cheetah print cuts. We will weave this in here and we'll try it out on the leftmost one first and see if we like it. Stonley thinks this is a toy to play with, but we might have to take her inside if she can't manage herself. What do you think, baby girl? Is that a big toy? Say hi. Okay, so this looks so incredible. I can't even begin. It is exactly, well, almost exactly what I had envisioned. Like the idea is there. We do have one issue that I'm gonna share with you. This is the matte finished vinyl. It's the only finish that I could get it in until I discovered the glitter one. I don't know how I missed that. I couldn't pick it up at Michael's, but if we stick this on, I was hoping that you would be able to like see the texture and outline of the cheetah print, but it really does just kind of disappear. From the front, you don't see it hardly at all. From the side, you might pick up a little bit, but I don't think it would be a super noticeable difference. So we're gonna try something else. What I have decided to do is get glitter shimmer. I'm going to spray this on here, let it dry really thoroughly, and then we'll put on the Aaliyah, which looks beautiful. It's the perfect color. It's got glitter in it like my drill has. It's so perfect. Now, the only thing that has me worried is we do need to put transfer tape on it. So I'm a little worried that it will pull off all of the glitter, but I'm hoping that it will leave on enough, especially if we do it a little bit heavier, that you will still get the effect. So we'll just kind of see how this goes and hope for the best. And so I don't know if it's gonna work, but if not, worst case scenario, the Aaliyah is beautiful, it's gonna be perfect, and we'll see how this goes. It's going okay. So I initially tried to use some transfer tape, but it wasn't quite sticky enough to peel off the vinyl, if that makes sense. But if I go with like a strong grip transfer tape, then it might pull off too much glitter. So I've decided to just kind of hand stick them on, especially since they're so big. There's not a whole lot that's super intricate. There are areas that I may still try to do transfer tape on, like the Aaliyah area. Makes me a little bit nervous to not do that, so let's try this. Well, the girly garage of my dreams is complete and I cannot wait to share it all with you. But first, can we all just admire this backdrop for just a second? I think it is just perfect. Now, the vinyl itself is not quite perfect. You'll see it kind of close up. This is pretty normal. For the way I applied it, I didn't use transfer tape. I just kind of stuck it on like stickers. And so there are quite a few air bubbles. In my experience, especially with it being out here in a warm space, these air bubbles will work themselves out and kind of dissipate on their own in a few weeks. But some of the larger ones, all you need to do is poke a little hole and press out all the excess air. But look at that, isn't that so beautiful? But what is really beautiful is what's on the inside, which is total organization. In this first cabinet, we will open it up here and see that this is like my painting cabinet. So we've got the Aaliyah sign. And by the way, that is my power tool company. So the drill, all of the tools will be under Aaliyah. And I love it. Okay, so let's open this cabinet up. And in here, we have all of my power tool stuff and other tools. So, all right, in here, we have like, right up here is just like random like trim pieces that I'm gonna be using and all of that. The ugly goggles that they give you with some of the tools. I don't need these. Oh my word, aren't these so much cuter? They're so much better and safer too. So, and anyways, I've got all of my electrical supplies and electrical wire cutters and extra wiring and stuff. And then this is all of my hardware. And so that is that one. And then tucked off to the side, I've got my sawhorses, and then above, this is gonna be extra overflow, like holiday storage, so that I can get out of my house. And I'm gonna work on that and a little bit more. Kind of ran out of time on this episode, and I didn't want to load it up with all of my Christmas stuff because Christmas is just around the corner. So when Christmas is over, this is where it will all head. This is my workbench area, and I actually have a lot of more organization to do here. Honestly, I've got more room to get it situated, but I'm like, this is fine for now. Of course, I've got my Athena drill by Aaliyah right here. These are like magnetic shelves, one here and one here. This is magnetic to hold like a box of like the protective gloves. And then I also got this self-sticking paper towel holder for my shop towels. And whoa, this is really cool. This is a magnetic speaker that's Bluetooth, and it's really loud. It's really awesome. I'll link it below. But it is going to be perfect here in the workshop because I love to listen to podcasts and music while I create content for all of you. I love all of the wood storage that we have, enough for like sliding in big panels here, and then 3 shelves. These shelves hold up to like 600 pounds of weight, and it's doing great. It's perfect. So this is my less cute side of the garage, but I did insulate the garage panels. But I figure I can store my saws here for the time being, and then if I am using or working on a project, I can move it out here into the space. So these had to stay in here, and I just moved them out of the way here. So I left this wall white primarily for a couple of reasons. In case I need to like photograph or video anything, I need like a solid backdrop. I thought that that would be just nice to keep it nice and simple. I do have another Aaliyah sign that is the blue with the black frame around it. I thought about bringing it down here. I didn't know if that would be overkill, so for the time being, it's gonna be a blank white wall. And then right over here, I added a whole bunch of plugs. I included USB ports and USB-C ports, so like if I wanted to charge anything out here, like my phone while I'm working. I also put like a little phone ledge for me to set my phone on, where it can charge while I'm listening to the music on my Bluetooth speaker. And then of course, in this little corner over here is Bacula's suction ports here. And by the way, a big thank you to Aqua Air Wet Dry for sponsoring this episode and providing Bacula for me to use. If you are looking for a centralized system, this is definitely the one you want to put in your house. If you're like building something, it is awesome. Anyways, I am so grateful to have this incredible workspace now. It's so nice to not have to work out in the heat and humidity and have a nice dedicated space to create content for you and build the projects that I do. I just want to reiterate that, like, I did it for years and years in the space that I could. So you don't need a fancy workshop like this to create the things that you love. You can work with like a little tiny space, a little balcony, a little, wherever you've got to create is perfect. So this is fun. I love having it and I'm grateful to have it, but you can create wherever you're at, and that's what I want to reiterate to you. And so if you enjoyed this episode and want to see my craft room inside, then here's the episode you want to check out. And to all of my DIY goddesses, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.